Honorable Finance Minister and Chief Guest of the program, Dr. Prakash Sharan Mohat, Mr. Asian Acevedo, Chairman of the Asian Bankers Association, Mr. Sunil Kesi, President, Nepal Bankers Association, distinguished speaker, moderators, presenters of the conference, distinguished foreign delegates, guests, ladies and gentlemen. One, good morning and namaste. It is my great pleasure to have an opportunity to address this 39th AGM of the Asian Bankers Association and conference organized in the theme of Asian Banking Roadmap for Recovery and Sustained Growth. This conference is being organized at the time when the global banking system has been facing immense challenges from global uncertain environment while recovering from COVID-19 pandemic. Nepal's banking system is also no exception. Therefore, this type of event for discussing issues would be highly beneficial for all of us. My sincere thanks to the Asian Bankers Association for choosing Nepal for its 39th AGM and also to the Nepal Bankers Association for organizing the conference while hosting the annual general meeting of the Asian Bankers Association. Distinguished delegates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, the global financial system that remained resilient even during the COVID-19 crisis has now facing challenges. The symptoms were seen earlier this year when some banks faced turmoil in advanced economies. Asian banks are able to show the high degree of resilience during those periods, though the vulnerabilities are still exist. Since the banking business is directly related to the economic condition, the banking community is in the same boat to cross over. The global economy is still limping along with growing divergence, as mentioned by the IMF's recent World Economic Outlook. This indicates that the spillover of the global financial risk to the domestic market is still prevalent. Inflation is now moderated in most of the advanced economies, but is still well above the central bank's target level. Some emerging markets and developing economies are still facing a higher inflation spiral. The growing tension recently emerged in the Middle East from this Israel-Hamas war, and the prolonged Russia-Ukraine crisis has been creating challenges to maintain price stability. As a result, many central banks have been continuing their tightening monetary policy stance, thereby facing a situation of a higher interest rate for a longer time. When the interest rate remains relatively higher for a longer term, naturally the demand for credit goes down, that sometimes may contribute for a slowdown. On the other hand, the economic slowdown would result in increased loan default in the financial system. Therefore, Asian banks need to be vigilant and cautious to observe and manage these risks. This type of discussion forum provides a platform for share the changing banking landscape and discuss the ways forward to remain sustained in the uncertain global environment. Considering the impact on the economic activities, Nepal Rastra Bank, however, has already started lowering its policy rates. Rapid technological changes have also brought many benefits to the banking system. New fintech development has been transforming the banking businesses, but at the same time, it has created several risks to maintain stability in the banking system. How to promote sustained growth of the banking system along with encouraging economic growth by using new fintech is very important to many Asian countries. Ladies and gentlemen, Nepal's growth performance has been sluggish, average around 4% per annum during the last 10 years. The economic growth that was picking up in the higher single digit after the post-earthquake recovery and perceived political stability after the state restructuring and new constitution was severely affected by the outburst of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, followed by the Russia-Ukraine war and the domestic condition. The economic growth in 22-23 is estimated to lower to around 1.9% below potential growth. To uplift such low economic growth, we all are aware that we need a higher investment. Nepal's saving remains below 10% on an average. It's not sufficient to boost economic growth. The role of bank is a key to boosting saving for higher capital formation, which is necessary for our economic growth. The Nepalese banking system has witnessed a rapid expansion and development in the last 3 decades, in line with the financial liberalization policy. As a result, access to finance and financial deepening has increased substantially. For instance, the recent deposit to GDP ratio remains more than 100%, while credit to GDP ratio now hovers around 90% of the GDP. Being number one in South Asia, financial access has expanded rapidly even to remote areas, while financial literacy is gaining momentum as it is a top priority of the Nepal Rastra Bank. After the rapid expansion, we are now focusing on consolidation of Nepal's banking system to make it stronger to withstand any shock and uncertainties emerge into the economy. Nepal's financial system has remained resilient despite the series of shocks faced emerged from both the domestically and externally. The global financial crisis of 2008 and the COVID-19 pandemic were the two big external shocks, while the 2015 earthquake and recent earthquake was the domestic one. Generally speaking, the COVID-19 pandemic was exposing a larger risk to the banking sector when most businesses were closed and unable to generate income to serve the credit. The cautious, prudent, and accommodative measures taken by Nepal Rastra Bank and highly supported by the banking communities protected the businesses, protected the entrepreneurship, and ultimately protected the banks' failure while helping the economic recovery after the pandemic. Because of the financial consolidation measure through merger and acquisition, the adoption of the international standard regulation and supervision, the Nepalese banking has remained strong so far. Nevertheless, Nepal's banking sector also faces challenges that we need to address together. The banking system has been facing some challenges of recovering loan resulting in rise in non-performing loan as a consequence of impact of COVID-19. From wider economic perspective, despite the rapid expansion of the credit, low economic growth indicates a poor contribution of banking credit to the growth of the domestic economy. Now, it is a time to fully reorient the banking sector's resources to the sectors that directly contribute to the economic growth. It's glad to see the conference theme in this area of reorienting resources for achieving sustained economic growth. The NRB has already taken some bold steps to reorient bank lending to the growth promoting sectors. I am also happy to share with this August gathering that our banking community has immensely supported our mission and expect continued support in the days to come. Ladies and gentlemen, taking this opportunity, I would like to advise the banking institution to follow self-regulation and ethical banking. This becomes inevitable when we have growing issues of technology, size of the business, and banking presence, and regulators cannot and also should not oversee every activities of a bank. The banking community needs to be competitive and focus on sustaining the business in the long run. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I wish a grand success of this today event, both the conference and the annual general meeting. I hope that the discussion on the key banking issues for Asia will provide key insight to every actor of the banking community, such as regulators, bankers, and the government in promoting financial resilience, but also equally supporting economic growth. I have seen the pertinent discussion agenda, and I am therefore confident that this forum will provide a way forward to banking issues and challenges emerging in Asia in general, as well as to a small open economy like Nepal in particular. I would like to reiterate that the Nepal Rastra Bank is committed to maintain financial stability along with the macroeconomic stability while also supporting for a sustained economic growth. Last but not least, I request all the foreign delegates to enjoy Nepal's food, culture, and beautiful nature. I wish you a pleasant stay and safe journey back home. Thank you very much for your time listening. Thank you.